First off, you guys were making music before becoming a band. So what was kind of the transition, knowing each other as drummers and then forming what you guys have now? What was kind of like that journey?
Well, like I said, Heath and I, we actually had kind of discussed trying to do a band at one point, but the timing wasn't quite right. And so I just kind of let that lie. And so, basically it was a matter of the timing. And then, I put an ad out on Craigslist and found a guitar player to start writing songs with. And we wrote a few songs. And so Heath was really the logical choice, first person I called to, add to that. And it just clicked. And then called another old friend of mine on bass. And that's really how initially all started. Heath and I, have continued to be the kind of the foundation of the band. We've had some members come and go in the past. Pretty much everybody's still friends and stuff like that. But, over time, you may have the typical creative differences, or I want to go do this kind of music, or I want to be a lead vocalist, or I want to do this or whatever. And so, but Heath and I have always kind of remained true to wanting to keep this idea of White Label Analog going. And so we continue to do that, continue to write music. It was really based on two premises, I guess, or maybe three. One for sure is it's got to be fun, or we don't really want to do it.
I like that.
We both kind of came from kind of hard rock backgrounds and did, music like that for years. And we wanted to do something that kind of pushed ourselves musically. And certainly for me as a vocalist, kind of thinking outside the box and not doing, what I had done in the past. And so it needed to be fun. It needed to be something different. And we wanted something that was kind of just, fun, danceable rock. And so the, pop influenced rock. And that's kind of the space that we landed on. We started out more guitar based, I would say, in our music. And over time, we've kind of, transitioned to more pop sound with more electronic textures and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But that's really kind of how it all kind of came together.
That's awesome. And just as a quick follow-up with that, had you written music before? Like, was that something that you were used to? Cause obviously, being a drummer, you do write music, and mm-hmm. you're kind of the kind of the lifeblood. You keep things going. You are the energy of the band in a lot of ways, but transitioning to vocals, there's a little bit different process. You're writing melodies. You're trying to come up with nice word flow that tells a story. And is that stuff that you had done in the past and had like kind of become accustomed to, or was that part of the leap to White Label Analog?
I guess at some level, I'd always wanted to be a songwriter. And so in other bands as a drummer, I had written, lyrics, and I had written vocal melodies. Okay. I'm not a very good guitar player. I'll be totally honest with you. I can play a little bit, but I would embarrass myself if I tried to front a band playing guitar. Heath is actually pretty adept multi-instrumentalist. You can play guitar, and we both play, keyboards, piano, a little bit. But Heath's definitely a better guitar player than I am. But I had written songs in other bands. And what I had always found difficult was that it's really, really hard to write a song for somebody else to sing. It's, mm-hmm. Because at some level, you have to kind of transition or kind of customize that song for that person's style, that person's vocal style, that person's inflection, their range, so I always found that really challenging. But what it did is it pushed me as a writer made me, become a better writer. So once I started to be able to write for myself, it was cool because like, okay, now I'm able to do it for me because I know what I sound like singing. But because I'd written for other singers, it helped me, push myself in directions that I might not have done in the past because I was, I was thinking about, a style of somebody else and not myself. So rather than just be in my comfort zone, I'm able to kind of transport myself into, okay, I can take somebody else's idea and kind of sing it that way and not necessarily just how I would do it. So I think at some level, it's made me a better singer and a better writer.
That's awesome. And when did White Label Analog start? Was it 2016? Is that the year?
Actually, it was the very, very last month of 2013, like December of 2013. So essentially 2014, we started. And then we put out our first EP in 2015. We put out a full-length record in 2016.
Okay, that's the one.
National tour after that. And then we kind of went through some member changes. In 17, we put out a new single in 18. And then, again, went through a member change and now just came out with,
and then COVID.
And then COVID just decided just straight up just railroad you. Boom, just stops you right in your tracks, man.
It's hard to put the band together.
That's basically when we decided to just go in the studio at that point and let's just write material and let's just work on new stuff and put down, 5-6 new songs or whatever and try and kind of get ourselves positioned for whenever things would ease up. And so that's definitely, we weren't interested in doing all the, I guess the streaming videos and stuff. A lot of artists were trying those, and Chris and I had discussed them, and we were like, "Nah, let's just get in the studio."
Yeah, it's just
not worry about trying to do anything live right now. Let's utilize the time that we're given and get in, just hammer out some stuff.